When Kamala Harris became America's Vice President, I used to see comments on YouTube saying something like, Kamala Harris has this super secret plan to become the president by making Joe Biden step down from the office due to health reasons. And I always used to ignore such comments, considering they always had partisan undertones and sounded more like a conspiracy theory. If you don't know, if the President of the United States dies, resigns, or is declared unfit to discharge his duties, in that case, it is the Vice President who becomes the President of the United States. Lately, I too have been thinking quite a lot about this, about Joe Biden's health and scenarios of Kamala Harris becoming the President. But let me start from the beginning. Last month, I was monitoring Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the United States. And the way YouTube is, I got distracted and fell into a rabbit hole called Sky News Australia. When it comes to Joe Biden, Sky News Australia has just got one agenda: to prove to the world why Joe Biden is unfit to be the President of the United States.
There is something seriously wrong with the leader of the free world.
And the free world is run by a bloke who most probably couldn't find his way home after dark.
It's no wonder that in Washington, rumors are beginning to churn about Biden's mental capacity and even using the 25th Amendment of the Constitution to remove him from office.
According to the news organization, Joe Biden's age is getting the best of him, as he makes incoherent statements.
You got the vaccination?
Yeah.
Are you okay? I mean, you seem, no, it works. Or or the mom and dad, or the neighbor, or when you go to church, or when you're, no, I really mean it. There are trusted interlocutors. Think of the people. If your kid wanted to find out whether or not there's a man on the moon, or whatever, something, or, whether those aliens are here or not, who are the people they talk to beyond the kids who love talking about it?
And faces difficulty speaking and remembering names.
I want to thank the former general. I keep calling him general, but the guy who runs that outfit over there. I want to make sure we thank.
Sky News also has a tiff with the American media, especially the ones leaning towards the left. They say that many American news organizations deliberately ignore Joe Biden's fumbles, while they ruthlessly criticize Donald Trump whenever he said something out of line, which was often.
This is the same media who diagnosed Trump and Ronald Reagan with serious mental impairment. But no matter how much the Democrats' propaganda arm in the media try to ignore or cover it up, there is no doubting that there is something not quite right with the US president.
Now it must be understood that the age and health of a head of state is of particular importance in statecraft, as it determines political dynamics and international relations. If a president or a prime minister of a country is young and healthy, then it is assumed that that person will live long. Therefore, politics is less active. On the other hand, if a head of state is old and sick, then it is believed that political change can happen anytime. Therefore, politicians work overtime to secure votes and alliances to take over once the leader dies or resigns. In international relations too, health of a foreign leader and his possible successor is taken into account while making alliances or preparing for war. As a result, heads of states are very secretive about their medical conditions, and they try to show themselves as fit as possible to create faith among allies and faithlessness among enemies. Joe Biden is the oldest president of the United States, who was elected at the age of 78, and he makes sure that the world knows that he is fit and ready to run the most powerful country in the world.
Some people are always in a hurry. They run when they could walk, race up steps when others take it slow.
According to Biden's medical assessment, he is healthy and vigorous. At the same time, the observations made by Sky News Australia are pretty public, therefore difficult to ignore. It also seems that Joe Biden is under extreme stress, especially after US withdrawal from Afghanistan, reflected by the fact that his patience with the press is thinning day by day.
Mr. President, on Afghanistan.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan. I'm not going to answer any more questions on Afghanistan.
And recently, he openly criticized the American press in front of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saying that American press ask pointless questions.
The Indian press is much better behaved than the American press. Your permission, we should
cannot answer questions because they won't ask any questions on point.
Being a president is already difficult, and it is especially hard for the 78-year-old who took office in one of the most difficult times humanity has ever faced. So, is there a case for Joe Biden resigning due to health or age and letting Kamala Harris be in charge? No, I don't think so. If Joe Biden resigns now, it will send a message to the American population, especially the ones who voted for Democrats, that they made a wrong decision by choosing Biden over Trump. And if there's one thing people especially hate, is being proved wrong. Biden's resignation will hurt the image of the already weak Democratic Party and further ruin their chances in the midterm elections that are supposed to take place in 2022. Side note, the elections for the American Parliament, called the Congress, takes place twice. One of them is conducted along with the presidential elections, and the other one during the 2-year mark of a presidential term. The elections that take place during the 2-year mark are called midterms. In conclusion, Joe Biden will most likely complete his presidential term. And regardless of the hype some news channels try to create regarding the president's health, it must be understood that health complications among world leaders is very common, considering many of them attain their positions of authority at an elderly age. Therefore, the system around a head of state is created in such a way that it helps them take effective decisions despite their personal challenges. The only scenario in which Kamala Harris becomes president without running for office is when Joe Biden dies, which we cannot predict, or if he is declared unfit for duty, which seems unlikely. However, if Joe Biden is unable to perform and the Democratic Party feels that Kamala Harris will be better able to run the country and lead the Democrats towards the 2024 elections, then there is a possibility that Joe Biden might be convinced to take an early retirement and let Kamala Harris be in charge. And this scenario, which is purely a speculation, will also most likely take place after the 2022 midterm elections. Thank you ladies and gentlemen for coming over to my vlog. I will see you soon.